In this video, I'm doing a quick review of factoring out the greatest common factor from a polynomial. To get started, let's just review factoring by looking at two numbers, 8 plus 6. We can factor 8 into 2 times 4, and we can factor 6 into 2 times 3. 2 and 4 are said to be the factors of 8. So factors are simply numbers or items or quantities that are multiplied together to give us a product. 2 and 3, therefore, are the factors of 6. We can see that 8 and 6 have a common factor of 2. So we want to factor out the common factor of 2. Now, factoring is just a form of division. So what I'm going to do actually to factor out the 2 is divide both of these by 2. So if we take 2 times 4 and divide it by 2, the 2's cancel out, leaving just the 4, which I'm going to write over here. 2 times 3 divided by 2, the 2's cancel out, left with a 3. Because we have a plus sign up here, I'll put a plus sign here and put this in parentheses and put the common factor that we divided out in front. Now what we have is 2 being multiplied by the quantity 4 plus 3. And we can check our work by multiplying. Multiplication is the inverse of division, and so we can always check division by using multiplication. In this case, we're using the distributive property and taking 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 2 times 3, which is 6. So you can see that we get the original problem, 8 plus 6. So let's say that we have a variable in here. We have 2x plus 2y. In this case, the common factor is once again a 2. So we're going to divide both of these terms by 2. The 2's cancel. We're left with just the x, just like in the previous problem. The 2's cancel here. We're left with a y. Once again, I'm going to put my plus sign, put the parentheses, and the common factor out in front. And we can always check this by multiplying. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times y was 2y, which is what we started with. Let's use all variables now. Let's say that we have x, y plus xz. In this case, the common factor is x. So I'm going to do this just a little bit differently now. I'm going to start by putting the common factor out here first, and then put my parentheses. And so when I divide xy by x, I can see that I get the y, plus when I take xz and divide it by x, I will end up with the z. And once again, checking by multiplication, we can see that this does work out. In the next problem, let's take variables of different powers. X squared plus x cubed. X squared is really x times x, and x cubed is really just another way of writing x times x times x. So this first term here has 2 x's. The second term has 3 x's. The greatest common factor would be 2 x's or x squared. And then in the parentheses is what's left over when I divide. So if I take x squared divided by x squared, I get 1 plus x cubed divided by x squared is x. Now, if you start to have a little bit of a problem with the knowing what the exponent is going to be, you may want to go back and review my video on the exponent rules. Let's take one that has common factor of a variable and a number. Okay, 6z cubed plus 8z to the fifth. In this case, 6 and 8 both have a common factor of 2. And z cubed plus z to the 5th have a common factor of z cubed. Now, another little rule you may want to remember here is that when factoring out variables, you always want to look for the lowest power of the variable. So in the previous problem, we had an x squared and an x cubed. And so x squared was the common factor, the lowest power of 2 and 3. Here, z cubed and z5, the lowest power, will be z cubed. What's left over then, if we take both of these and divide them by 2z cubed and divide by 2z cubed, what we're going to be left with is 3. The z cubes completely cancel out. And 4, z cubed divided z to the 5th divided by z cubed will be z squared. And again, you can check by multiplying. Let's throw in some negative exponents. Negative exponents are going to occur a lot in calculus. So if we were to have x to the negative 3 plus x to the negative 4, we want to factor out some power of x. So we want to go with the lowest power of x, which is going to be x to the negative 4, because negative 4 is actually a smaller number than negative 3. So the common factor is x to the negative 4. Once we divide both of these by x to the negative 4, and again, you may want to review my video on the exponent rules. What we're going to have here is we're going to have x plus 1. And again, you can check this by multiplying. X to the negative 4 times x would be x to the negative 3, plus x to the negative 4 times 1 is x to the negative 4. Let's take 3q to the negative 2 minus 12q to the negative 5 plus, and let's make that a 6q to the negative 4. So when we look at 3, 12, and 6, the common factor, the lowest common factor, greatest common factor is going to be 3. And then negative 2, negative 5, and negative 4. The smallest power there is negative 5. So q to the negative 5. Then in the parentheses, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Q to the negative 2 divided by q to the negative 5 is going to be q cubed minus 12 divided by 3 is 4. Q to the negative 5 divided by q to the negative 5 is 1, so it would be just times 1. We don't need to write that. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. Q to the negative 4 divided by q to the negative 5 is q. And once again, you can check by multiplying. All right, I'm going to put an exercise on here. And as always, you may want to stop the video, do the problems, and then check to see how you did compared to what I did. So here's a couple of problems. Number 1, 12x to the negative 2 plus 8x to the 3rd minus 4x to the negative 1 and 6q to the negative 5 minus 2q to the negative 3 plus 8q to the negative 4. All right, stop the video, factor these two problems, see how you did. All right, so looking at the first problem, 12, 8, and 4 have a common factor of 4. X to the negative 2, 3, and negative 1, the smallest power of x is x to the negative 2. What we'll be left with then 12x to the negative 2 divided by 4x to the negative 2 is simply 3, plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. X cubed divided by x to the negative 2 is x to the 5th, minus 4 divided by 4 is 1. X to the negative 1 divided by x to the negative 2 is going to be x. Check that by multiplying. And then the last one, 6, 2, and 8 all have a common factor of 2. The lowest power of the variable is q to the negative 5. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Q to the negative 5 divided by q to the negative 5 is 1. Minus 2 divided by 2 is 1. Q to the negative 3 divided by q to the negative 5 is q squared. Plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. Q to the negative 4 divided by q to the negative 5 is q. All right, that's it. I hope this proves to be helpful.